NFL fans, welcome back to a brand new episode of the J All Day Sports Show. Listen, we're in the division round of the playoffs now. Only a few teams left. That means the NFL draft in April will be here before you know it. I'm doing a brand new series where I'm doing an NFL mock draft, all 7 rounds for each of the 32 NFL teams. In today's episode, we're going to break down the Pittsburgh Steelers roster and do a full 7-round mock draft on your Pittsburgh Steelers. If you love NFL draft content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you are on the clock right now. You got a first round, second round, third, fourth, fifth, and 2 7th-round picks this year. No 6th-round pick. So, where do we go at pick number 21? We take a look at the board. What's left? TJ Warren, Mambua from Missouri, edge. When I'm going over my notes, obviously they need a quarterback, cornerback, running back, O-line, D-line, and wide receiver. Do we see any value here? Both of the tight ends are left on the board. I don't think they go there. They have more pressing needs, in my opinion. Mambua, the tackle from Missouri, is a really talented guy. 90 grade this year, guys. In 410 pass block snaps, this dude didn't allow a single sack or a single quarterback hit. He allowed 9 hurries, but at right tackle could be a really interesting spot for him in this offense, right? Run block grade 87, pass block grade 85. He's an extremely talented guy. 6'3", 314. Do they go that route or do they go quarterback? They are in desperate need of a quarterback. Dillon Gabriel and Jalen Milroe are on the board right now. I honestly think Jalen Milroe is an interesting play here. He's got considerably better 2,800 yards in back-to-back years, 116 down to 93.6 in the passer rating. Not the position you want to see your quarterback going, but OMG, Dillon Gabriel is going to turn some heads. He's a little undersized, which I don't particularly love at 6 foot, 200 pounds. A little small, but his accuracy is great. Jalen Milroe, on the other hand, definitely a better sized guy. 6'2", 225. Jalen Milroe could be that guy. He kind of runs an offense that's very physical. He likes to take the ball down and run. But in big games this year, he kind of disappeared a little bit. Most drafted was the Giants, the Raiders, and the Browns. They passed on him. Steelers fans, you might think I'm absolutely crazy, but getting a quarterback is imperative for this roster to move forward. Dillon Gabriel's a little too small for me. So, Jalen Milroe, late in the first round, potential steal. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe goes to the Steelers in the first round, guys. They get their quarterback, guys. Now we're drafting in the second round, pick 53. We look at the board, compare them to our needs, right? We got our quarterback, right? So cornerback is definitely a concern on this roster. 2 guys with PFF grades under 60. Running back, obviously. O-line, D-line, and wide receiver. Getting another wide receiver to be paired with Pickens would be really interesting. I think their offensive line is good enough. Jaden Higgins is a very interesting pick. 6'4", 215 pounds. He's a big-bodied wide receiver, guys. Big body, receiving grade 90.5. Look at that drop rate. I love that drop rate. Jaden Higgins, 2.2% drop rate, over 1,100 yards, and he's gotten better every single year yard-wise. You know, look at all those touchdowns, man. 25 touchdowns over his college career, 130 targets, 87 receptions, 13.6 yards per catch. This guy can do it all, man. His contested catch, it's 50-50 ball. You know, he needs to be a little better there. But top of the country, missed tackled forced, 12, deep catches, 8. You know, he's not jumping off the page in any of these statistics, but the receiving grade is there. He's got a big physical frame at 6'4", 215. That's a very interesting pick. Xavier Watts, the safety from Notre Dame, is in play as well. 88 coverage grade. Best player left on the board. Dylan Sampson, Cam Scadaboo. That's another pick, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers need some more juice on offense. I think their defense is competitive enough. Let's revamp this offense, man. Cam Scatterboo. Woo! You guys watch that tape? Have you guys watched that tape? This dude is a beast. He wants to put the pressure on defenses, man. 1,700 freaking yards this year. OMG. 21 tutties! Yo, he's going to the Steelers and Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness, the Steelers fans are going to fall in love with Scatterboo. Woo! Two great picks. Two great picks, guys. All right, we're up now in the third round, pick 21. Pittsburgh Steelers, we got our running back. We got our cornerback. Maybe some trenches work here now, guys. Trenches work. Another wide receiver. Do we go all offense? Trey Harris is a dog, man. 6'3", 210 out of Ole Miss. I was watching some of his tape, and I really, really liked the tape. He kind of faded off. He dealt with some injuries a little bit. Almost a 90 wide receiver grade in the third round. Can we just completely revamp the offense? Tyler Barron, the edge defender, is very interesting in this spot too with 10 sacks. But I'm looking over my notes. I mean, it's not a pressing need, right? Wide receiver, they need more weapons, more weapons, more weapons, more weapons, right? Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Donovan Jackson, the tackle. That's an interesting pick as well, in my opinion. You know, he's played all over the line, left guard, left tackle. He's more of a guard per se. But, man, maybe he's there later in the draft. Oh, man, who's not going to be there? Trey Harris is probably not going to be there, especially if we look at the crop of wide receivers. There's a big drop-off from Trey Harris. We're doing it, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. We are going all offense. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Now it's time to target the trenches. Chase Lunt. I loved him. I watched the tape. Gotten better every year. No sacks given up and over 400 passing attempts from their offense. I do love that. I do love that. Lucandra, the guard from Cincinnati, he's in play as well. Kobe King, the linebacker from Penn State. This dude's a savage, bro. This dude is an absolute savage. I don't know if they would go Kobe King in that spot. Tyler Cooper, the guard from Minnesota, he's in play. But when looking at all these guys, who's the best player left? Chase Lunt. They need offensive line help. Let's get some offensive line help in the room. Now, we're picking at pick number 22 in the 5th round. Cornerback, definitely a spot I want to address in the draft. Noel Williams could be a potential steal here at 6'1", 200 pounds. Very solid grades. Jack Nelson, another offensive lineman. He's got some talent, especially this late in the draft. You know, linebacker Lander Barton. Kyron Lacey, he's got some legal stuff going on. Probably a pass on him, even though he's got a lot of talent. Jay Higgins, the linebacker from Iowa. Dude is a dog. Dude is a dog. He might be there a little later in the draft. For me, premium position at cornerback. They need help at corner. Noel Williams goes to the Steelers in the 5th round. Now we got 2 picks in the 7th round, guys. Where do we go? Jackson Dart could be an interesting guy to just bring in. Here, guys, maybe we take a page out of the Patriots book. They drafted Drake May, and then they drafted Joe Milton later in the draft. That could be a very interesting idea. There's some quarterbacks. You know, Jackson Dart, you know, it could be very interesting. Very interesting, guys. Clay Webb, another guard. They need offensive line help, guys. Real bad. They need some interior defensive line help, too. Tonka Hemingway. In the 7th round, you want to get the best player available, right? Who is a diamond in the rough? Howard Cross had a great year a couple of years back. And Jackson Dart is a really interesting pick. I am very, very interested in that pick. Aaron Smith, the linebacker from South Carolina, from the Gamecocks. South Carolina State, my bad. The Bulldogs, 6'2", 230. A little undersized for me. Where do we go, guys? In this last pick, probably D-line, I would assume. Wide receiver could be interesting as well. We look at our picks so far. Guys, we went quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tackle, cornerback. D-line is very interesting to me. You could always use some D-line help. D-line and edge. Anyone there that I like. Tonka Hemingway, Howard Cross, Thor Griffin. This guy's been pretty solid, man. 80 grades, all over 80 grades every year. Very stout in the run. Big boy, 320 pounds, run stuffer. Nazir Stackhouse from Georgia. I always like the Georgia Bulldogs. Howard Cross from Notre Dame. I think he played a little bit hurt this year. Kind of missed some time in the middle of the season. I think Howard Cross is a guy you could develop, stash him maybe on the practice squad, see where he goes. He's kind of small, 288 for D-line. I don't know if I like his size. Hemingway, 288. These guys are smaller interior defensive linemen. Joe Evans from Iowa didn't play this year. Colin Oliver. This is an interesting play here. The edge defender, 88 grade. I'm always interested in guys who could pass rush. He only played in 2 games because of injuries. I like this pick, Colin Oliver, in the 7th round. Now, a few picks later, Jackson Dart is still available. I'm taking another quarterback, Steelers fan. Jackson Dart in the 7th round, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. I love this draft. Pittsburgh Steelers really need to draft well. Jalen Milroe, F grade, and then they gave me Jackson Dart an A in the 7th round. So I don't know. They need a quarterback desperately. Fields and Wilson, I doubt, are back. But, man, in the middle of the draft, we were very successful with Cam Scatterboo, Trey Harris, Chase Lunt, Noah Williams. Crushed this middle of the draft, guy. They gave us a B- because they didn't like the Jalen Milroe pick. But I don't know how long in the 2nd round Milroe lasts. Could he be there in the 2nd round? I don't know. We'll have to see how he progresses through the draft process. But I think this is a great draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. Let me know in the comments below. What would you do if you were drafting for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.